China successfully landed a probe on the far side of the moon, marking a historic achievement as it collects samples for the very first time. Greetings, everyone! Today we will be delving into the remarkable accomplishment of China successfully landing the Chang'e 6 probe on the far side of the moon, a significant milestone in the field of lunar exploration. This mission plays a crucial role in China's ambitious lunar strategy, which includes the establishment of a lunar base and the realization of crewed missions by 2030. It is worth noting that both China and the US have set their sights on the moon, envisioning it as a potential resource hub and a future site for colonization. With the Chang'e 6 mission, China is putting its progress towards these objectives to the test. So without any further delay, let us begin our discussion. For the very first time, China successfully landed a spacecraft on the far side of the moon with the purpose of collecting samples and exploring its potential as a site for a lunar base or further space exploration. On Sunday morning, the Chang'e 6 lander successfully landed in the Apollo Basin with the purpose of gathering samples of rocks and soil, as reported by the China National Space Administration. The state news agency Xinhua celebrated this historic event as the inaugural undertaking in the realm of lunar exploration by mankind. After being launched on May 3rd from the southern Chinese island of Hainan, Chang'e 6 patiently awaited favorable conditions for a successful landing, which finally arrived at the beginning of June. Venturing to the far side of the moon presents its own set of challenges, particularly the absence of direct communication. To overcome this obstacle, additional satellites are deployed to assist controllers in establishing and maintaining contact with the probe. Beijing's lunar strategy is becoming more ambitious with the inclusion of Chang'e 6 as they aim to have a crewed mission to the moon by 2030 in order to pave the way for a lunar base. The race between China and the US to determine the governing structure for lunar exploration is underway. While the Outer Space Treaty, which was signed in 1967, does not provide specific guidelines for activities on the moon, the objective of the Chang'e 6 mission is to determine if China is making progress towards achieving its lunar objectives. Todd Harrison, a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, emphasized the significance of being the first to reach the moon, as it not only establishes superiority in lunar research, but also sets the precedent for resource extraction and utilization in space. The focus of both nations lies on the far side of the moon due to its valuable resources, such as ice deposits, and its potential to provide sufficient sunlight for electricity to sustain colonies or launch rockets for deeper space exploration. The chief of the US space agency, NASA, Bill Nelson, has issued a warning regarding China's potential intentions to assert territorial claims on the moon, disguising them as scientific research activities. Beijing, however, has dismissed these allegations. In 2020, China accomplished the Chang'e 5 mission, marking the first instance since the Cold War space race between the Soviet Union and the US, where a country collected lunar samples. Blaine Curcio, an expert on China's space program from Orbital Gateway Consulting, described the Chang'e 5 mission as incredibly intricate. He emphasized that this mission marked the first time since the 1970s that lunar samples were successfully brought back to Earth. The complexity of this endeavor far surpasses the mere act of landing on the moon, requiring a level of precision and logistical planning that is exponentially greater. In August 2023, India accomplished the historic feat of landing a rover on the uncharted south pole of the moon, marking the first mission of its kind, although no samples were collected during the mission. Equipped with advanced sensors for obstacle detection and terrain mapping, Chang'e 6 is also outfitted with a drill and a robotic arm specifically designed for sample collection. Over the course of the next 2 days, it will diligently gather valuable samples. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.